What is up, guys? Chris, I'm Professional Dad, and I'm here with another knife video. Recently, I've gotten a few emails from some people asking me to do something, and even though I've made videos on this very topic before, I don't know if they just hadn't seen them or they just wanted me to put a different take on it. And I was wanting to do this, but I needed to find the right time. But they wanted me to do a video on sharpening, but not just on sharpening. They wanted me to show them and recommend a really good product that I could recommend that would be able to sharpen a lot of different blade steels, that would be easy for a new person, a beginner sharpener to use, but also that comes in at a budget price. Now that's a tall task. That's a big order to ask for. I'm going to be perfectly honest. You know, there's so many different sharpening things out there. I like sharpening with whetstones, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't sharpen these premium super steels with whetstones. You can, and I've done it, but I'm going to tell you it's a lot more work. You've got to use diamond plates. And you can get a lot of different grades. You pay for what you get. You pay a little more, you get a little more. You pay a little less, you get a little less. I've got a $180 set of diamond plates over there, and they are awesome. And when you use them, you can tell you're using a $180 set. But I went on to Amazon. I needed to find a diamond sharpener that would do a couple things. I didn't want to do a whetstone because a whetstone is just too hard to use, especially for beginners, and especially with the new knife steels that are out these days. Nobody's wanting to learn how to sharpen magna cut on a whetstone. That's just not the way to go. So I needed to find something that I could recommend that was going to have multiple. Here's the criteria. I needed to find something that had multiple grits. It had to have something that would give a stropping or honing option to finish off. It needed to have budget price. It needed to have some type of way of showing angles and degrees so that, you know, it could walk the new person through. There was some different specific things that I was looking for so that I could find it, and then I wanted to get it in. I wanted to use it and find out how good it was and do a video on it and show you guys, number one, how to use this product, whether or not it's a good one, so that I could recommend it. But also I wanted to use it on the knife that I'm struggling with and show you all that yes, everybody does struggle at times, but if you do it the right way, any knife can be sharpened. And that product that I actually got was this right here. This is called the Dew-Wax or Dew-Wax, whatever. It is a, here you go. Right there you go. You can see the Dew-Wax, whatever. It is a sharpener that you can get off of Amazon. Now these come in at $36, $35 and some change. And there's some things going on with this. Number one, it has 3 different grits. It has a 400 diamond plate, 400 grit diamond plate. It has a 1,000 grit diamond plate, and it has an 8,000 grit ceramic plate. Now, as you see, I've been running some blades across it here in the last 20 minutes, getting a feel for it, you know, realizing how good it works and stuff like that. Now, it also has something else. It also has a little spot right here with a carbide sharpener in it. That's so that you can run your knife edge to it. I don't like these at all. They destroy edges. They take way too much metal off. They're great for scissors. Scissors, they're really good for. Use scissors on those all day long. They'll keep your scissors sharp. Those are good for emergency situations. If you've got a little pocket sharpener and you're out and about and you're not going to be able to be home and sharpen your knife for a while, but you need a razor's edge right now, you need a sharpened blade right now, and your edge is dull, but you need a sharp one. That's when you can use those. They're good in a pinch, in an emergency, but don't use them other than that. They take too much metal off and they will destroy your knife. They'll destroy your edge. I don't like them at all, but they're on there for a reason, because they're quick, efficient in emergencies, but they're not the option that you want to go with. They're just not, unless you don't have a choice. So the way that this works is it fits down in this little base right here. Now this base has rubber pads on the bottom, which is very, very good. Whenever you're using something, there's a couple things that you need to do. You need to make sure you're at a stable base. You need to make sure that your table is stable. You need to make sure that your product is not slipping and sliding around, because a couple things are going to matter when you're sharpening. Number one, the degrees and angles of your arms. You have to make sure that your arms are consistent when you're going through. You don't want to start at 1 degree and then as you're coming, raise your elbows up or lower and twist your wrists and stuff. You're going to mess up the angle and the degree on your edge. You want to consistently keep the same angle and degrees throughout the entire sharpening process. Also, though, if your base is moving around and sliding on you, or if your table is wobbly, bouncy, moving around, stuff like that, it's also going to throw you off as well, and it's going to mess up the edge and the angle that you're coming at. So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, speaking of edges and angles, this does come with something else. It almost looks like a little piece to a board game. It is a little 3-sided. It has 3 different edge degrees on it, angles, and it has a rubber base. So that is so that you can set this on top there, and you can literally set your knife on it, and it will tell you what angle to go at. Now, I'm not going to use that, but that is really good, especially for beginners, because you need to know what angle you're using. Like, for instance, a kitchen knife is going to use a different degree or angle than a pocket knife or a fillet knife or a hunter's knife. A machete and hatchet is going to use different degree and angles than different things, than a pocket knife or an EDC knife. So these are really handy. Now, something else it comes with also is this. This is a leather strop that comes with it. It's not the best leather quality that you'll ever find. It's stiff and it's hard, and probably gonna break down pretty quick and stuff, but it is something to start with, and it all comes together for $36. 35 and some change from Amazon. Now, some things about this I want to tell you. You start with one, then you flip it over and flip it over. But when I got mine, this plate had fallen off and was loose in the box. Now, that is a piece of double-sided black, sticky, tacky tape, whatever that is, some type of a compound. And it also has a glue strip right there that you can see. But it came loose. So I just put it back on there. It keeps sliding off and stuff, but I will glue that down. Now, I actually thought about I've got some different leather strops over there, loose like this. I actually thought about taking this and gluing this to the backside of like a leather compound, a leather strop, and using that almost like a portable one that I can take with me anywhere, put it in a backpack, my back pocket, stuff like that. So I've got a diamond plate on one side and a leather strap on the other, so that I can actually carry it with me, and it would be small, out of the way, and it would be efficient. But then that would just destroy this whole thing. So I'm not going to do that. So let me go ahead and put this on here. Now remember, this has 3 different grits. Grit is the one of the most important things to know about sharpening. You have to know what grit you're using. Grits is the level of coarseness, and the more coarse it is, the more it's going to take off. It's like sandpaper. The more coarse that sand is, imagine running sandpaper across a freshly painted car. The more coarse that sandpaper is, can you imagine just running across metal that it runs chills down your spine? But that's what it's going to do, how it would just destroy the paint job. Now imagine taking a really fine sandpaper that's almost like smooth paper and running across it. It was still going to do a lot, but it's not going to do nowhere near as much damage to your paint. Same thing with the metal on this. The lower the number is, the more coarse it is. Now, it's good if you can to have different grits, 4, 6, 800, 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, 1,800, whatever. But for budget people starting out that don't have all those options, having something that at least has 2 different grits a lower one and a higher one, and something to hone or strop at the end is going to be extremely important. It's a must. So this will do in a pinch. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I've already used this a couple times today. There's a big difference between this and those expensive diamond plates. This does do the job, but know that you're paying for what you get. Now I want to show you something. This knife does have an edge on it, but you see it does catch. That's what I mean by right there. There's rolls in that, and I just can't get them out. Now up here, it's sharp. But I'm going to take this, and I'm going to make that go through that cardboard, or not cardboard, but the, what are these little cards right here, a lot easier. So we're going to start at 400. I'm not going to use the angle thing because I already know. Remember this. You're going against the edge when you're sharpening. You're drawing away from the edge when you're stropping. Against to sharpen, away to strop it. All right. Now, another thing before I start, the pressure. When you're removing metal, you got to put pressure on it. Not pushing down through it, because you're going to destroy your plate, destroy your knife, and you're going to push through the edge and just roll it over anyways and do more damage than good. But also, you're just going to destroy your knife removing too much metal. The more pressure you put, the more metal you're removing. You do want to push and put pressure to remove the metal. Now, stropping, you're just going to use the weight of the blade. But sharpening, you got to put pressure and push through. So what you're going to do is you're going to start right here. See how my hands and my arm are staying the same angle the whole time? All right, here's another thing. When you come up to the edge, stop. Don't push all the way through. When you push all the way through, what you're going to do is you're going to sharpen that tip right off. You stop at the tip, not through the tip. So watch. You go up to the tip and stop. 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 Now this is what you don't want to do. Sharpen all the way through, because you're going to remove that tip right off of there. Don't do that. Sharpen right up to that tip. Now, see that plate wanting to slide off of there. That's not good. Same thing, same angle. Now we're going to move it over to the 8,000 grit. Now you'll have to actually, a lot of times, especially if your knife is dull, you'll have to go a lot more passes than what I'm doing. I'm just doing a really quick rundown to show you what to do. But if your knife is really dull, you'll have to do a lot more passes than that, because you've got to remove a lot of metal to put the edge back on it. Oh, I went too far right there, slid off the edge. All right, now we've got a leather strop here. Jimmy showed me something to do. He said literally set your edge down like this on it. And I'm going to try it out. He said just set it on there and just gently pull through. And what that is going to do is remove a lot of the micro burrs that you can't really see or feel, but it just makes it harder to remove the burr. This is going to remove a lot of the micro burrs that's on there. Remember, you're not pushing, you're just literally using the weight of the blade and pulling through. Now, I'm going to strop this. Remember, when I'm sharpening, I'm pushing against the edge. When you're stropping, you're pulling away from the edge. You can either start at the tip and pull backwards, or you can start at the base of the edge up near the choil and you can pull backwards this way. But either way, you're pulling backwards, not against the edge, but away from the edge, and it's going to lay that down. That's me, not the knife. The knife is actually just gliding through that now. The knife is way, way sharper now. Oh yeah, way sharper now. It's just gliding right through that. Do I got any more? All right, I'll try a piece of paper. Now I'm terrible with paper, but I'm terrible. I can't cut paper to save my life. So it's gonna make this look bad no matter what, but I'm gonna try it just to be on the safe side. Oh yeah, it's a razor blade now. Oh yeah, that is sharp. Now, oh yeah, that is sharp. Daggone, that little trick that Jimmy showed me, that might have worked. Putting it on there and just pulling it back through. He actually showed me on his thumbnail to give me an example, but I would never do that. Just pulling that through. That's pretty neat. I appreciate that, Jimmy. Oh yeah, that is a razor blade. Oh yeah, that's hair popping sharp. Oh yeah. Now, I'm going to go back through this and I'm going to do even more passes. I'm going to do this again and I'm going to make that even sharper, even more sharp, and just continue to do that until it is literally a very, very thin razor blade edge. But that ultimately is what you want to do to take your knife. You saw what it was in the beginning to that right there. It literally would not go through the card, but now it is just gliding through it. So even slicing through paper. So it's a very tedious thing. It's a good way to get out of your head. It's a good way to think. It's a good thing to practice on. Use different blade steels. For instance, this is Aus-8. This is going to be so much easier to sharpen than XHP. So start with something like this. Don't start with your good knives though, because you'll destroy your edges if you don't know what you're doing. Start with a knife. I'll tell you what, start with the butter knife. You're not going to destroy it. You're not going to ruin the edge. It don't have an edge on it. But start with the butter knife and practice, 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 practice. And eventually you will get to where even a butter knife you can sharpen with enough sharpening. So this is not, the Dew-Wax is not a perfect sharpener. I'm going to be perfectly honest. You could probably, for that same $36, you could find some other options. But I think that this is sufficient. I think that this would be a good option for a beginner. And the reason why I think that this is a good option for a beginner is because of this right here, the base. It needs to have a base. It needs to have something that's going to set in it, that's going to elevate it to keep it raised up instead of having you low to the table. It needs to have it up. It needs to be an elevated position. And it also needs to have multiple grits. It needs to be easy to change from one grit to the other. This is I think that this is a really, really good option if you are a beginner, a novice, somebody that cannot afford an expensive set for sharpening. I think this would do just fine. If you can afford to spend more money, spend more money. I would some changes about this that I would make is probably try to find you a different leather strop than this, because even though that this is a leather strop and it will work, it'll do the job, it's just not very good quality. I mean, it's going to work, it's going to do the job, but if you can find you a little bit better leather strop, maybe do that. But even this will do just fine. It'll do the job. You pay for what you get. It takes the proper tools to do the proper job. You know, I used to tell people in sales that using inefficient tools and expecting to do a good job is like stopping the hands on a clock to save time. Doesn't work. It's pointless. You got to have the proper tools to do the proper job. This will do the job. It will, 100%. This will do the job. I have no doubt that anyone can take this and put an edge on a knife. It's good enough to use. It's worth $36. It's a good investment. I think the plates, I don't know how long they'll last. They should last for quite a while because diamond plates last a long, long time. So, I mean, yeah, $36, guys. The Dew-Wax, I'll link it in the description below. I think it's a winner. Again, if you have options, it's not for you. But this video is for those people who are looking for a good budget option that will do the job and do the job well. And I think this is it. Use this. Use this if you're new. This will make your job so much easier. Use this. Yeah. There you go. The Dew-Wax. Dew-Wax. D-O-W-O-X, I guess. Dew-Wax. Diamond sharpener. I'll link it. $36, guys. I don't think you can beat it. So check it out. Give it a try. See what you think. It was worth my $36. I'll tell you that. I'm happy I have it. So I'm gonna go back through it right now, and I'm gonna keep doing this one. And next time you see this knife will be a razor blade. Moral of this lesson, though, is remember, no matter who you are or how new you are to sharpening or how long you've been sharpening, we all struggle. We all run across that blade that we just struggle with. We all run across that blade steel that's just our nemesis. We all do. All of us. So when you're struggling with sharpening, don't think that it's you, that you're doing something wrong. You're doing exactly the right thing. You're doing exactly what is expected of you. One last little thing right here. Somebody that comes in and that can sharpen a knife really quick and put a razor's edge on that, and I mean, they pull out a knife and I mean, this is the first time ever sharpening. It's a razor blade. Whew. We had this thing called in sales, there would every once in a while there would be somebody that would come in and they just maybe luck, because it's all a numbers game. No matter who you are, it's a numbers game. They would go out and they would pop sales immediately. Like within the first week, they've got a few sales. And they are on cloud 9. And they are it. They're that guy. They are it. We are lucky to have them. We don't know what we got when we got that person. They are it. And they didn't realize, they weren't educated or experienced enough in the field to know it's a numbers game. You're just that person that got your numbers out of the way early. But your numbers are going to catch up. I don't care how good you are. It's a numbers game. And those people would have all that luck right up in front, and they would immediately get this false confidence thinking that it was something they was doing, when it's not. They just came across the right customers, and it was just the scenario, not the person. Now, they probably had a part to play in it, obviously, because they was the salesperson, but then they would go into that numbers. Their numbers would catch up. They got their sales out of the way, so now they got their misses, and their misses are coming. So you got to get your no's out of the way to get to your yeses. They got their yeses up front, and they think they're special. So now all these no's start coming in. Well, anybody that's experienced knows that's part of the game. You want those no's, because when you get those no's out of the way, that means you're closer to a yes. But they couldn't hack that. They go from cloud 9 to boom, what am I doing wrong? I'm terrible. And that was called a flash in the pan, and they would burn out really quick. So I would rather be somebody that struggles up front and goes through the motions and doesn't get it right and struggles again and again and works with it and works with it and works with it until finally that's the person who, when they finally get it, they don't care if it's an axe, a machete, a shovel, a razor, a blade, a knife, or whatever. They're going, you give them a samurai sword, a katana, and they're going to put a fine edge on it because they have practiced and put in the work. So don't beat yourself up. You're exactly where you are. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're doing exactly what is expected and what is supposed to happen. So enjoy it. Don't hate the process, because the process is what turns you into a proficient sharpener. All right, guys, that's it. I'm Chris, the Unprofessional Dad. I wish all of you sharp knives and happy lives. Remember, in the link in the description below, you will find, this will be in the link in the description below, but also so will my Unprofessional Dad merch. Anybody who wants to check out a t-shirt, a hat, or a hoodie, time is running out, guys. It's almost up. You know what? I'm not saying this because I'm trying to get anybody buying. Don't buy any. It is what it is. People can only afford what they can afford. But we've sold a few shirts. We've sold, I think, 3 hats, 2 hoodies. But, there's still some shirts. If anybody wants some shirts, t-shirts, hats, anything like that, no worries if you guys don't want to. But if you want to, the links will be in the description below. And our premium member. If you want to be a premium member, remember, the last day of the month, we're going to be drawing for a really nice knife, and premium members only will be in that giveaway. But that's neither here nor there. All right, I'm Chris, the Professional Dad. I wish you all sharp knives and happy lives. I will see you in the next one.